We're here in Bournemouth Square today. This is Lord Bitty. He will be appearing at some point in the series. We're going out with Butler on the 1As today, as we do the 1As, Bs and Cs on the Moor buses. Roll the music.
Kicking off season 2, we are leaving Bournemouth Square on the 1A. As you can see, we're heading up towards Old Christchurch Road, through the back road past the Burlington Arcade, then we come up to Horseshoe Common before heading down through Lansdowne, then Boscombe Gardens, Boscombe, round through past the bus station, through the Folkestone, Lower Folkestone, Iford, Christchurch High Street, and then we finally head up towards the Somerford Sainsbury's along the main road. Now there is a diversion in place on this route on a Monday, along with the 1B, C33, X1 and X2, along with the 125 as well, as the market day diversion. Christchurch High Street is closed on a Monday for the market, so the buses have to go up into the Waitrose, down the dual carriageway, then back round in, and then join back at Two Rivers Meet, which I'll point out later on. But for now, just enjoy the ride. I'll see you soon. As we come into Christchurch, just to the left as we've gone past, that's where the market day diversion goes down. Then we now stop here behind the X1, whereas the one I used to stop a bit further up, as this used to be the stop for the Burton buses and the buses beyond Christchurch to other places. Now this is the section of road that's closed off during the market day, so no buses come down here. To the right is just the Christchurch ruins. We go over both the rivers. Is the stand pit, and then just the junction up ahead of us is where the buses join back on after the market day diversion, and to the right on that junction is Two Rivers Meet, which after a certain time in the day the 1B and the 1C do terminate there instead of going the full of that route. It's what we know as the nighttime ones, or if you look at some of the bus stops you can still see remnants of when more buses just call it the 1 just to make it easier. But where the 1B and the 1C do separate routes through Southbourne, which you'll see later on, it's easier just to keep the numbers separate so people don't confuse and don't get on the wrong bus. But now, coming into our final stop on this route, Somerford Sainsbury's.
Today's bus for the 1A is number 2010. It's a Scania Omni City single. You may have seen the double-decker versions of these in the first episode of this series 1, which was 70s and 80s, that was £11.98, and in the Brislington episode, which was £11.95. These are built as obviously single deck versions with less capacity, but this one was originally for the CityLink service, well, Unilink service up in Southampton. So if you look just where the Moor panel is there would have been an extra set of doors. But these buses aren't too bad. This one's brought us on the 1A all the way up from Bournemouth. We're currently here at Somerford Sainsbury's. We'll be here again when we go through on the 1C, obviously a different date. So we're going to jump back on, have a quick look at the interior. We're going to talk about some changes that have happened to Fare Zone A. So here we are on board 2010. We're currently waiting to go back towards Bournemouth. A couple of updates with Fare Zone A. The zone has been extended, so you can now catch a 737 out to the airport for Chapel Gate on a Zone A ticket. Highcliffe is now valid in your Zone A ticket. There is another bit, I'll probably put it along here because I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's good that they're extending Fare Zone A. Just makes it a bit easier for people to get around. Obviously this bus is all in Fare Zone A along with the 1B and later on the 1C, but we're going to head back to Bournemouth now. Obviously fare information will appear on the screen just here for this particular route. Hop on, hop off, tap on, tap off. £2 is here indefinitely. All returns cap out at £4. And the frequencies for the 1A, there's usually one every 10 to 15 minutes on Monday to Friday, Saturdays, and then some days I think it's slightly reduced. But on the Monday, instead of serving round down near the Priory, we do go on a diversion via the Waitrose. I'll put a little map on screen here, as the Christchurch market does block the main high street towards all buses. But yeah, I think that's about it. Let's head back to Bournemouth, shall we? Before we go from the 1A to the 1B, we did go back to town, but we're quickly jumping up here to the East Cliff. This is just a bit of a follow-on from last season's episode on the 99. Unfortunately, the route has now finished operation, but you can still find the bus 2710 operating on the winter 70s for as long as it's still in its 99 livery. But hopefully it will get changed soon, because I don't really think the branding fits the 70. But if you want to have a bit of fun, in the comments put what livery you'd like to see this bus in. Personally, I'd like to see it back in Salisbury Red's livery, but that's just my opinion. Now, before we go off, well, I'm about to go back on this one and get back to town, so I'll see you back in Folkestone for the 1B up to Burton.
So with the 1B we turn left out of Fisherman's Walk down the back roads on the route down the hill. Then we turn right back up towards Tuckton, where we rejoin the 1C. Now with the 1C's bit, we will look into the way it goes through Southbourne when we cover the M2s, as it does follow the same route. And the bit where this bus comes back towards Bournemouth, the little bit it does, we can do on the U3, because it basically just follows this route but in reverse, and then when it gets to the roundabout we turned off at, it turns left and does a loop back round into Southbourne. But as you can see here, we are now heading towards Tuckton. Lovely pub on the left there, if you ever want to go for a nice meal. But yeah, we're turning left now into Tuckton as we head towards Tuckton Bridge, which funnily enough, you can only get one bus on at a time because it's a weak bridge and it wasn't reinforced after however many years, but the trams and trolley buses used to pass on here, will not pass, one stop at each end of we go through. Now we head down towards Christchurch. We cross over the path of the 1A, you can see one go through. We now go past on the left Christchurch station as we turn right onto Bargate and then into the town centre. Now on the final approach to Burton, we pass under the South Western Main Line, which will carry you to either Waterloo or Weymouth, depending on your direction of travel. Up on the right here is just where we usually turn off into Burton, but because of the diversion we can't. Now we go around the housing estate, which does get us back onto the original route. However, we can't access Burton Green at the moment, so we just have to make do with this little stretch before we head back. But I do go into a bit more detail in just a moment.
Usually on the 1B we'd stop at Burton Green, but at the moment the bus is on diversion, so we can't go down there. As you have seen in the time lapse just now, we did come in on the main road on one of the old Yellows routes that used to come this way, and I think an old Wilkes route used to go that way because there's still markings on the main road for it. But we can head back to Bournemouth now, and it's going to be a bit of a time jump. So the filming for the 1C was filmed about a week ago, but because of issues on the day, we had to film the rest of this episode over 2 different days. So the 1A section was filmed on a different day, this has been filmed on a different day, and the 1C was filmed about a week ago. So where it says in the video, oh, for the first half of this video we have this bus, don't get confused, it's just where we had to change them around a bit. But yeah, we'll see you back in Bournemouth for the 1C. So we're currently here at O Stand in Bournemouth Square. Today's bus for the first half of the video will be 1631 as we go on the 1C via Hunt Road. A bit about this bus, it's one of the first batch of the ADL E400s for the Unibus route, or Unibus branded. This one is orange front with purple back. Been in service since 2016 I believe. Pretty much the same as the ADL we looked at in the Buses to the Bill episode, only this one is much older. But we're going to hop on and head off to Somerford.
So here on our third and final bus route today, the 1C, as we enter Christchurch High Street, I'll give a bit of a background about what the bus does before it gets here. Now it travels up from Bournemouth as it same way as the 1A, 1B does, all the way up through Boscombe to Folkestone. Then like the 1B, it turns off at Folkestone towards Southbourne, but unlike the 1B, instead of going left down into the little residential area, it continues straight down towards Southbourne Crossroads. Then it joins up where the 80 during the summer rejoins the route, and along with the 33, before passing over Tuxton Bridge and then into Christchurch like we just saw. Now with the bit here, instead of going straight on this little bit like the 1B does, we turn right into the Somerford estate, snaking around all the residential past the one stop before coming into the Somerford Sainsbury's, where it's the top end of the route before we head off down towards Mudeford and then back in towards Christchurch. Now with the section at Mudeford, we do duck and dive on part of the old X1, X2, while still joining up with the summer 80 route through Mudeford Quay and that way. But the routes do alternate, so one service goes this way round via Somerford first, and another time the next one will go via Mudeford first, so it's an interchange, so no matter which way you go you will still get to where you need to go, but it just depends which way goes through first. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of the parts the X1, X2 used to run, and now we're joining back onto where the 80 went during the summer, so you might recognise a bit of this, you might not. But this, coming up on the left here, is Mudeford Quay, just about here, and then we head back down towards the Pure Cross roundabout before heading back into Christchurch, where we're going to end today's video. But yeah, the 1C is a very nice route, especially when the weather's a bit nice. It was a bit of a rubbish day for filming we went on this one, but we still managed to get the footage we needed, and it is a nice little route. But we're coming back up to the main road now, so see you in Christchurch.
That's about all we have time for today on this episode of On the Moor Buses. I know it's been a bit of a long one, the filmings have been in different places, but it's one way to start off season 2. Now I can tell you the next episode, there's going to be a lot of red. It's a bit of a teaser. Well, not that route, because we've already covered that route today, but where that bus is from, there's your teaser for episode 2 of season 2. I've been Aaron, is Jack. And if you've watched this far, I hope you have enjoyed the first episode of season 2 of On the Moor Buses, and I hope to see you again real soon.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're